God says you didn't have to do anything drastic to expose this person. You simply remain who you've always been, consistent, available, reliable. Amen. The one who shows up and they know that about you. They know if they call you, you answer. If they need support, you are there. If something goes wrong, you step in. That's who you've always been in their life. Not sometimes, but consistently. But God says there came a moment, a small situation in your life, just a moment where you needed them the same way they have needed you. And you didn't even make a big deal about it. You didn't demand, you didn't pressure, you just expected that they would show up for you. God says that moment was not random. That moment was designed not to embarrass you, but to expose them. Because in that moment, they hesitated, they delayed, they gave excuses, they showed up halfway or didn't show up at all. Amen. And something in you felt it immediately. You didn't even need words. You just noticed the difference. God says that feeling you had was clarity. Because for the first time, you were not the one giving. You were the one in need. And what they gave back did not match what you've been giving. Be honest. That moment changed how you see them. You didn't say anything, but internally you realized this is not equal. This is not mutual. This is not how I showed up for them. God says exactly, because consistency reveals expectation. And when the roles reversed, their true capacity was exposed, not by your words, but by their lack of action. They may have tried to explain it. They may have tried to minimize it. They may have acted like it wasn't serious. But God says you saw it clearly. And now you can't unsee it. Amen. Because it's one thing to say you care. It's another thing to show up when it matters. This is what many people ignore. They focus on how someone speaks, but overlook how they respond when they are needed. Because that moment reveals priority. It reveals effort. It reveals whether the relationship is truly mutual or just comfortable for one side. God says you expose them without confrontation, without strategy, without trying to prove a point. All you did was be consistent long enough for the imbalance to become visible. And now you are thinking differently. You are moving differently. You are starting to question what you used to accept, because deep down you're realizing, I give more than I receive. Amen. God says that realization is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to wake you up, because you cannot keep pouring into someone who is not built to pour into you the same way. And that does not make them evil, but it does make them misaligned. Luke chapter 6 verse 38 says, give and it will be given to you. God is showing you what is being returned and what is not. Amen. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 2 says, now it is required that those who have been given a trust must prove faithful. Faithfulness is revealed when responsibility is given. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 says, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Amen. What they give and what they don't will always come back to them. God says that moment you experienced was not small. It was revelation. Revelation of who can truly stand with you and who is only comfortable receiving from you, who is not able to meet you where you are now. Amen. You have a choice to ignore what was revealed or to adjust your expectations accordingly. God says, do not go back to overgiving like nothing happened. Do not ignore what was shown to you in that moment. Because now you know not just who they are when they need you, but who they are when you need them. Amen. And that is the kind of truth you cannot afford to ignore. Amen.